My name is Steve Ellis. I'm the Assistant Commissioner for the Department of Real Estate in charge of the licensing and administrative services. I believe the most important thing you can do when you first decide that you want to buy a home is to get pre-qualified. The pre-qualification process gives you a snapshot of what of your financial condition, and of course before you purchase a house you need to know such things as your credit score, your down payment, that kind of thing. So one of the first things that will tell you is how much your monthly payments are going to be. And usually when determining how much your monthly payment is, either your realtor or a financial institution will run a ratio of what your income is to what your total gross to your bills and your housing obligations. For instance, if you are making $5,000 a month and your house payment should be roughly a third of that amount. And if you add your total monthly obligations, that's your house payment, principal, interest, taxes, and insurance, with your monthly expenses, generally speaking, shouldn't be more than 50% of your total income. So that's one of the things you need to know, is what the ratio is for your total housing expense and your total housing expense plus your debt obligation. That'll also give you the price range you're looking for, because if you extrapolate into how much the monthly payment is at whatever the current market rate is, you can determine how much of a house you can afford. So before you start looking for a home, you need to have an idea what the price range is that's in your market range. This also can be impacted by how much you put down. So once you know what your financial condition is, say you want a little bit better house, you can put more money down. If you have it available, it'll tell you how much you need to put down to get into a certain house or to keep a payment at a certain level. Another thing, that when you get pre-qualified, your credit score, which is very important as a method of seeing how you measure up on a credit basis, and that is something that is used very extensively in the market. You need to know what your credit score is, and by knowing that, you can adjust it in some ways. For instance, paying off a new car you purchased that would lower your debt obligation by the amount of the car payment. You always go back and purchase a new car after you finish the home purchase, but that should be your top priority, is purchasing the home. You can always get a car later. It'll also tell you whether or not a cosigner could be needed for the purchase, a parent, or if you want to go in with another individual on the loan. Once again, getting pre-qualified would tell you whether or not a cosigner would be required. And another thing, it'll focus on your income, and that's probably the biggest thing. How long have you been on the job? Generally, they like to see 2 years on the job, but also, is there any other income that maybe you don't, you haven't put on your prior income tax, a part-time job, or do you need to get another job? So those are the things I think are important as a first step in once you decide to make a purchase.